Hi, I hope everybody's having a good night. My name is Roz, and I'm here to tell you a story. Well, actually, not a story, my experience on finding out I was indigo. Um, it was really crazy. I've been going through things back to back to back and trying to understand, why was I going through all these things? So, when you want to learn more about yourself and stuff like that, you go to the world's internet. And this is when I found out, wow, I was a indigo. You know, um, Starting off as a child from the beginning, make the long story short. Um, when I was a child, I always just have these weird dreams. I always, trying to understand and decipher why was I having these dreams. I was always seeing myself in a crib, just crying all the time, and didn't know why. And I remember this person. I don't know if it was a male or a female. Very fair skin, big, beautiful hair, and I'll always hear them crying. Those were the first nightmares I would always have as a child. And my parents would always tell me, how do you remember that? Did you know that somebody told that you used to cry a lot as a child? And I told them no. These are things that I just dreamed about, and it got, progressively got worse. 4 or 5 years old, I would have dreams about this man and this woman and these two other people. One was a mother figure. She always constantly had her face covered, and I would hear her crying. She's deep in the shadows and never knew why. And my father, before I knew at the time, was always in my dreams. I'm just like, well, we never physically met or never really talked. So I'm just wondering why I would always see him in my dream. And we will always play all the time. He will always tell me, look, I'm only here for a little while, but I'll be here same time tomorrow. Let's just enjoy the time we have now. So we would always constantly play together, but there would be some dreams that he would be like my brother at some aspects, and then he would be like a father or a father figure to me. He always told me he loved me, cradled me, like I was a little girl, a little baby or whatever, always kissing me on my forehead, telling me how much he loved me. But that feeling was just so magical to me, like I never wanted to wake up. I never wanted to leave this beautiful, magical place of ours. And they would get worse. They were always good dreams at first, but when I was getting older and I guess trying to understand, and I looked at my parents like, you're my parents, but I don't look anything like you, or I don't feel like I fit in with you guys, like you don't feel like you belong to me. And my mom would always ask me, what are these dreams that you're having? Why do you keep waking up in these cold sweats, screaming all the time? Asking for your dad. And then when your dad comes, you're saying, no, not this dad, the other dad. And I told her, I don't know, I didn't feel comfortable at the time because I didn't understand them at first. Um, so I went ahead and later on, after I started having the dreams a lot, that I felt like I needed to tell her. And I told her, look, I'm ready to tell you about my dream now. And then I told her, there's this woman that her face was covered and she was crying, like hysterically crying. And I would never see her face, but the certain person that I told her about, um, the my father or brother in my dream, um, would we would play or whatever, but my dreams was starting to end with somebody dragging me away from him and him stuck in cement. And then, I told her, I was like, I don't really look like you guys. Are you guys my real parents? And she was just like, well, who told you that? We not make you feel like you were loved enough? And they did at that time. And everything was good, but then the dreams started getting worse, and I was trying to understand, why my mom kept saying, she knows things that there's no way that she should know, and I would never understand what she was saying to me because my dreams to me at that time did not make any sense until I started getting older, and I was just like, are you guys sure I'm not adopted? Because there was a conversation I had back in like 81 or 82 when we were in Germany uh, with this guy, and he was an uncle, a family friend at the time that I knew of. I never heard of him before. You know, um, my mom was just like, well, you haven't seen him since you were younger, and he was like a family friend of ours, and he really wanted to talk to you. And then, we talked or whatever, but when I talked to him, his voice, it was just so familiar to me. Like, I don't remember your face, I can't place your face, but your voice, it sounds so familiar to me. And then, kept on telling me how nervous he was when he talked to me or whatever. And I told him, relax, just go ahead and relax. And it's just his voice was just so familiar to me. And he was just like, well, you do remember. But I haven't seen you since you were a little girl. But, I have a little girl your age. And, and it just, the conversation got intense. And, it was just really crazy. He asked me, normal things, but it was just, he never knew, um, not actually him never knew, I never knew the reason why he acted the way he acted, because he acted like a family friend. Conversations, the way it went on, it was just emotional. Um, you wouldn't have with a family friend of a child, a father would do that. And, the dreams progressively got worse. Until I was like 8 or 9, and I asked him, hey, am I adopted? Because I mean, I'm struggling in school. They try to label me as having a learning disability, and I really didn't. I just didn't understand the things that were explained to me. It's not like I felt like I was stupid or anything, or had a learning disability, or special needs or anything like that. No, I'm not trying to say anybody's stupid or anything like that, but as kids at that time, you're trying to figure out anything. It's like, God, am I stupid, or or whatever. I just didn't understand it. I just didn't know. And since this situation has been going on right now, it made me look back at all the things I went through in life, and then it started putting perspective of, okay, now I understand why I went through what I went through. Um, it was just, really weird. I just had trouble paying attention in school. My parents were like, what's wrong? And I said, I just can't get it. I just don't understand it. It's just frustrating to me. I just always constantly got frustrated. And, you know, after a while, my parents got a divorce. It was becoming too much for my dad. He was just like constantly telling me, the things that you're saying, you're thinking, they're gonna think you're crazy. They're gonna put you in an institution, because the things you're saying are not right. And I'm just like, but they're true though. Why can I not say it? Why do I have to feel like I have to, be censored on, long as I'm not disrespectful, I should be able to tell you how I feel without it being any kind of, you know, uh, punishment behind that. And I just didn't know why, but, looking at all the things I was going through, I was just, I run away from home a lot. I didn't like staying at home. I always liked to be one with nature. I always wanted to go out and help people, but it was just all the things that were going on. I guess it was just, my family weren't being honest with me, and it was just, I've been placed in anger management, in and out of institutions because they said I was bipolar or schizophrenic or I was crazy, but it was just the things I was telling them, they knew it was true. So it was like I was being programmed to not think about the things that were actually benefiting me and the planet. Why would anybody want to hinder anybody like that? If you can go ahead and leave the comments down there, just let me know how, your experience was when you found out, or if you're still trying to search and figure out what's what to look for. I'm still searching myself. I'm just new to this experience, and loving the fact that I have answers and knowing where I came from. uh, it's just going through stuff and trying to question and understand, your true self. Like, why am I here? What am I on earth to do? It's not to sit up here and do a 9 to 5 job and do the same thing like a robot every single day. And searching back and forth, and trying to understand myself. Um, and knowing, since my father had passed away, it's just things that got really crazy. Um, my family still hasn't, came clear about anything. So I'm just waiting. Right now, I've been to different adoption agencies and, trying to, deal with that and trying to go through my life on a daily basis. It just seems like, with the more I hear about and I do research about, the indigos go through a lot of bad luck. Like, gut wrenching things. Like, I mean, it's just like things that I've gone through. Other people have told me, like, you have not tried to commit suicide or anything, but obviously it was meant for me to stay here because it was like I've contemplated it so many times. I even tried one accidentally, I accidentally overdosed um, one time, and then my children had to bring me back. It was all over. It was like a serious pain that I was having. It's just like the pain wouldn't go away, and I wasn't doing it on purpose, but I just wanted the pain to go away. And, my kids, with their good thinking, they were able to bring me back. So I was just constantly going through stuff like, what is my life purpose? What am I here to do? I just don't want to sit here and be a nobody. I want to be able to help something or someone, actually contribute to the world. And I mean, going through different research and searching, trying to find out who I am, and just going through all these things and trying to find out who I am. It was getting kind of frustrating, but it's just like I'm glad I started doing the researches, things that you look for. You don't feel like you fit in anywhere. I never fit in with anybody. It just felt like, even though if I was with my friends, it's like now, if I was to go out, I feel so out of place. I sit there like a little quiet mouse, even though I'm having a good time, I just don't feel like it's right. Like I'm having a good time, but yet I want to be at home in my little four walls in this little room. I just have like candles and all positive things around me. I feel more comfortable that way. Unless I have somebody that's, on the same level as me, I just didn't really understand it. Like, why? And then just to understand that, doing the research, reading up on different things, then I was just like, wow, I'm not the only one who goes through this. I like to have long, deep conversations with people that have meaning to try to change the world. What can we do? I've always went through things where, as being, the listener or the reliable one, I always got treated so bad. And when I finally needed people, they weren't there. But, when you lose things, we always say, oh, I lost this or I lost that. But losing things is not always a loss. Maybe that's like a blessing in disguise. I hate being by myself, but, I'd rather be by myself than be around somebody that's not there for me the way they're supposed to be. So I just keep continuing to do the research and, figure out, they're always trying to label, people that, they say that has ADHD or supposed to be bipolar, schizophrenic, and they try to label me as that. And I mean, I don't, we have our moments like any other person, but then it's just more enhanced because I always just wonder why my head constantly hurt. Why was I feeling all these different thoughts and emotions when I'm sitting here and I'm okay, but next thing I'll be happy and I'm sad and I'm frustrated all at the same time and did not know where this was coming from, wondering, wow, am I going crazy? But just to know that I can go out and reach out and see that there are other people like me, and then just know, it's okay to be different. you know, it's okay to not want to fit in, you know, so I'm glad about that. So I'm gonna probably do some more videos, and hopefully things will progress a little bit more with me finding out more about myself and being more in tune to have more info about me being at Indigo. So everybody have a good night, and